another at-home edition of Cheery Conversations, and every time we're gonna do this, I'm gonna say that, just because it's fun.
Every time. Well, I made you say that. I'm like, you say it again.
She did. But we're back with another at-home edition, just to bring a smile to your face. We're so excited to be talking with you guys, everyone listening, everyone watching. We have another edition of just bringing you some cheer through not very pointed conversation.
Not at all. Very random. We're going to talk about movies today.
Yes, we have random topics. Again, probably not going to walk away with bookmarks in your Bible of things that we're pointing you to,
No.
but we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes. It will bring joy to your heart. It will.
So, I just have to say this. I'm just going to open it up with this, Sonny.
Uh-oh.
So, everyone listening, everyone watching, what is something that maybe you're not super proud of that you've done or you're doing, but because of the environment we're in, you just don't care? For example, I am wearing flip-flops that have a dog bite in it. These aren't even mine. These are my husband's. They're too big. I'm wearing them with socks, and I'm wearing them out in public, which I would not normally do because that's super 90s, like socks and flip-flops, but I kind of don't care. I kind of don't care.
For sure. I can tell you I have, on more than one accounts, I have done the front of my hair. Did it again today. There is nothing done to the back of my hair. I could have waves and kinks and I don't care. And so I have not done the back of my hair in 6 weeks. I have worn pajama bottoms and jackets and nice shirts and had all the jewelry and been wearing cloud pajama pants or Packer pajama shorts. I mean, why do we have to get anything dolled up except for the top half of us? So I'm not very proud of that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I forget that there is a real world, because I was wearing purple jogging pants and a shirt that did not match and flip-flops, and I was in the middle of like cooking something and I forgot like one ingredient, and luckily there is a store that is open close by to our house, so I like just went out the door and totally didn't even think about what I was actually wearing. Not that I care like that much, but when I walked,
Casey,
as I started walking in, I was like, oh shoot, I'm literally, this is not what I would normally be wearing.
But Casey, in that store that you are speaking of, you totally would.
I know.
Let's be honest. You dress down to go to your store down the street.
To my store.
And we're not talking about Target right now.
No, not Target.
I'm putting you out there. But when you're like, hey, so I'm going to Walmart, and I'm thinking, you look the worst you've ever looked. This was pre-pandemic. We just said it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get sued.
So there's nothing wrong with that store. It has everything that you need.
Absolutely not. Although, have you seen the memes? It's not even memes. It's an album on Facebook of things people have worn as masks. Not all are in Walmart, but a lot are. You can tell they're
I've heard
Walmart.
of these. I haven't seen it, no.
Okay, it's 12. Let me go through some of them. A scuba oxygen tank mask, and they were wearing a wetsuit.
Oh my gosh.
A horse head that was a full rubber mask horse head, but massive. Let me think about the other ones. Okay, you know the packages you get your comforter in when you buy it at the store, like a plastic, and it zips up?
Yes.
There was a guy, a sales associate, helping a lady, and you could tell he was trying to hear her through it. She had the queen comforter unzipped over her body, and the square, like SpongeBob, was over her head as she was shopping.
That's like a suffocation hazard.
Yeah. One person had a like Walmart bag, or let's say Festival.
Gosh.
No, Festival's yellow. It was brown. It was a grocery store plastic bag around their head, and they had like a rubber band around their neck to keep it tight. Like, I'm not lying. I showed Sean, and Sean said, it can't be real. I'm like, you can see it's real. And you can see the reactions of people looking at the people like this. Like, I can't. Oh, one lady had a sponge, like the green sponge that's green on one side, yellow on the other, across her face with a rubber band, keeping the sponge. Okay, but I will say I went to festival the other day, and so far I have not worn a mask. But I've also not. We've done Instacart a lot, or Sean's worn like ridiculous masks with like big contraptions, like oxygen. It was so embarrassing. The one time he took a picture in Meijer of what he was wearing. It looked like he had like Bose headphones on his face, and then also here. It was like 4 pieces of weird big things. Anyway, and 2 of them were pink, so it kind of looked like he had pink headphones around his beard, but it was a face mask. So anyway, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go to festival, and I am gonna do the face mask because when I was at Target the week before, I totally was judged for not having a face mask. So I felt like, okay, I need to do this. So in my head, I'm like, I have this floral head wrap that also can like go around your hair,
yeah,
but you know, kind of like your neck. And I pictured that it was really like a lot of fabric that just would bunch around. So I find it and I put it around my neck, and I'm like, when I get to festival, I'll pull it up. Well, I get to festival and I realized that this was not what I had remembered. And it actually, when you spread the fabric out, it was about this big. When you unfolded it, at its largest was about this big. Not this big as I remembered. So I looked like I had a legit hairband around my head. I'm gonna show up on that album. I'm a meme now. And it barely covered my nostrils, and it was one thin layer that I had to stretch, so you probably could see my mouth. Probably people were like, look at this crazy.
They're like, poor girl.
I'm super embarrassed.
Poor girl. She's trying.
We have a lot of embarrassing things, right?
It's so great. It's so great. Well, not only embarrassing things, but there are like some fun things, milestones, things that are to be celebrated that are still happening because life doesn't stop, life keeps going. And so even though it's different, I'm sure there have been some things that people would normally celebrate one way but how to do it differently. So we would love to hear from our listeners and our viewers. If you're watching, put in the comments like things that you've celebrated and how you've celebrated. For example, birthdays. People have birthdays during this whole pandemic. So how have you celebrated? We would love to hear it. And if you're listening, let us know too. But Sonny, you had a birthday this month.
Yes.
So how did you guys celebrate it?
It happened to be, let me see, it was on a Sunday, and we've had some beautiful Sundays in Wisconsin. Thank you, Wisconsin, for having warm weather. Actually, Sean and I were sitting at Pamperin Park yesterday, and I walked for 3 hours, and he came in the car and on his way back from doing something and sat on a bench with me and then drove home, and I walked home. But we sat on the bench for a while. He's like, this is really nice. I'm like, I know. And the weather was so nice to be warm out. And I looked at him, I said, I'm so glad we're not doing this in January where we're in our home and it's freezing out and it's gray and there's snow and there's no going outside. I mean, I see people walking around all the time outside. So on my birthday, it was a warm day, one of the warmest we've had. It was April 5th. And I sat on my porch for like 3 hours. Now, I was researching Revelation and that study that I'm doing right now. And Sean came out, he's like, really? On a Sunday and on your birthday? I'm like, if I'm outside on my porch, like I can't think of a better thing I would want to do. So that was awesome. And then he had balloons hanging from the ceiling that night. He made my tacos, which are the tacos that I make. So, I mean, he didn't want to bother me, but I did have to help him a little with the tortillas. But he did really good with it all. He got me a TJ Maxx digital card.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So he emailed it to me. I haven't tried to use it because I think I might wait till I open up so I can go shop the aisles, because that sounds like more fun. So it was really great. It was really great. And nobody was going anywhere. Nobody was in a hurry to get through the party. We just had dinner, and my kids wrote me wonderful cards, and they probably spent more time writing nice things. So it was great. It was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My dad had a birthday this month too, and so we drove to his house and did what I think a lot of people do, just made him a big sign and stood in front of his window. But
Aww.
He said it was one of his favorite birthdays.
Yeah.
I think because it was so intentional, and we just we didn't want it to not still be celebrated. So I think it's cool when people have creative ideas. So we loved it. hear more creative ideas, right? Because there's wedding anniversaries, birthdays, graduations.
Yes.
There's all sorts of things.
I wanted to talk about that. So Alan Griffin, a lot of people who are in our life know he's in our life. And he's Sean's best friend, and he got his doctorate. He, what is it called? He gave his dissertation. He defended his dissertation on a Zoom call in a suit jacket. I really did want to have the inside scoop because I bet he was wearing basketball shorts on the bottom. But he had a suit jacket on top. The board that was he was defending his dissertation to, he sent us a screenshot of them, and they were like in hoodies. Like, these are doctors who are giving somebody a doctorate. One dude had a hoodie on. I'm like, oh, this is so different, because that's a very formal thing. So anyway, he got that, and so he wanted to have a graduation party still because Sean was going to fly in for it, and of course that got canceled. The graduation got canceled. And I think it's a doctorate in theology. And so 10 guys got on a Zoom call 2 nights ago, and for 3 hours, 10 dudes, probably all ranging from 40 to 55, sat there, and Sean's like, it was like we were all together. Granted, it's not a meeting, there was no agenda, so I think that's why it was super fun. And I thought, you know what? And in fact, Casey, didn't you say you and BJ, have you done that kind of thing?
Yeah, we've had date nights with our friends where we just Zoom call, and we don't really do anything special besides just, hey, hi, how are you doing? We've had a couple, like, here's some, hors d'oeuvres, or we're having our little snack.
Eat it through the screen.
But just to meet with the people we would normally be meeting with on the weekends, we've done that a couple times, and I'm sure that there are other really cool things people are doing. And I think it's so important that we don't stop doing what's important to us. We just have to find a different way to do it.
Yeah. Well, grandparents have been doing the FaceTime thing for a long time,
yeah.
right? Like, aren't there devices now that it's like, looks like a picture frame and grandma and grandpa can push start and the kids can. So, I think we could probably lean into that, even the younger generation. When you told me that earlier, I thought, why aren't Sean and I doing that? Like, we could get on with Hush, Marine, and Alan, and I think no agenda leads to random conversations. Like, for instance, what we're going to talk about next. What a great segue. Movies and TV shows. Let's give some real life recommendations right now. Because this is what friends do. Like, what are you watching right now?
For sure. Yeah. So everyone knows that we're watching Tiger King. Hi.
Tiger King, hello. Cool Cats and Kittens.
Yep, that's probably
old news.
And we discovered
his name is Joe.
Yeah, Joe Exotic. We couldn't think of it last time, but Joe Exotic. Right. Who could forget that? Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
What's something new that you're watching? Because I usually get ideas from you.
And I get ideas on movies from you. So I feel like Sean and I have watched every documentary that has come out. I feel like, not documentary, I said that wrong. Every true story.
Oh, I love those.
We've watched Bombshell. We've watched, which is probably a little more off script, but we watched Just Mercy last night. I don't even remember what it was called, but it was about two guys buying a bank in Texas back in the 60s. So good. I'm trying to think. We've watched like 4 or 5 that are just true stories. So they've been awesome because you also don't feel like you wasted your time and your energy. You actually feel a little smarter, but of course I love history. Unorthodox. I watched that. It's only 4 episodes. And it was so good. I told Sean, I said, yeah, it's the story of a girl, but I don't think it's feminine, and I think you'd really like it. And he'd heard that from more than one. I told you about Unorthodox. You haven't started it yet, right?
I wrote it down. I haven't started it yet.
Okay. What have you watched? Because I need some suggestions. I feel like I'm out.
Well, okay, so we're into like shows. We finished The Office, which is like my favorite. So we finished it. That was so good. And then we just started Parks and Rec, which is equally hilarious.
I can't believe this is like your first introduction to Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson.
Yes. They're so good.
Your life
I'm
will
loving
never
it.
be the same.
Loving it. I also love documentaries, but we started one a while ago, actually before the pandemic. It's called Pandemic. And so now we're watching through it, and that's been pretty good. We did watch, is it The Messiah or just Messiah? Do you remember?
I don't remember if it's or not, but that's a winner.
That is great.
That
like,
is a winner.
It is so good. Like, so good. And then one night when everyone went to bed and I just wasn't tired, I watched, it's the documentary about Bethany Hamilton, the Soul Surfer movie girl, but it wasn't called Soul Surfer. It was her documentary. That was so good. It was so good. For sure good. But yeah, we are movie people too. My husband and I will take turns picking movies. I usually end up picking ones that we just don't want to finish watching because they're so dumb. So I might be a good movie recommender.
Sean and I have a hard time like deciding on one. Most of the time we're like, how is there not more to watch? But last night we were gonna watch this true story movie and I sat down on the couch. She's like, I already picked one. I said, it's like when somebody picks the restaurant you're gonna go to.
Yes.
It's like, thank you for doing that. I said, you're such a good man. Just because he picked it. And we didn't have to like spend 30 minutes deciding. Okay, so another one, and I know I'm a history buff. Like when I grow up and I can be a tour guide, I'm gonna be a history tour guide of something somewhere in some country or land, or I don't know, maybe I'll work for the Packers and do a tour. I don't know. So I love this, and some people are like, this is crazy. I watched The Men Who Built America on the History Channel. So good. Now there's The Food That Built America.
Oh.
Hershey's, Post, Kellogg, Heinz. Unreal history. I love it so much. And so people who hate history might not like it, but people who are like, I don't know if I do or not, you would love it too. So it's really good.
We have to be careful of some of the documentaries we watch because we are like infomercial shoppers. Like if we see it, we'll buy it. And so we've watched a few documentaries where, we bought the juicer.
I know which one you're talking about. Yep.
Or we're vegan. I mean, we were for a while. My daughter is still vegan, but we're vegan.
Now. Is vegan because of Game Changer. Sean is vegan. He has fallen in love with plant-based meat.
They're so good. They're so good though. But we are very like, ooh, yep, we need to do that.
Yeah, I agree. You have to be careful when it's really extreme, right? And how do you know?
Yeah,
you don't know until you watch it. But I'm like you. I for sure am a documentary watcher and also an adopter. Yes.
Yes, I love that.
The other thing that I do, and Sean knows it, he needs to give me about 30 minutes after every movie to now go Google. I need to go see the real person's face.
Where are they now? I know.
Where are they now? Is this true? Was it true? Like even Vikings. Like I had to go, is this mythological? Or is this true?
Okay,
and
that's a great show though. That is also a great series, Vikings.
Yes. You have to have your finger on the fast forward button because
sometimes.
Yeah, it can get kind of gory and gross. I'm like, why? Why did we have to see their head off? Like, didn't need to see that. So that's a little raw.
Well, if you're watching, give us your ideas. What are you watching? What are you listening to? We'll share it. Well, we want it for ourselves, but then everyone else.
Let's be honest. We need your advice.
We need some more ideas.
The pool is drying up.
The pool is drying up.
I did hear that movies are coming straight to, we have to buy them.
Yes.
But they're coming straight to our TV.
We heard
our
that too.
Our set-top box, so that we can watch right away.
We heard that too. So keep the ideas coming. We're gonna take a quick break while you're giving us your ideas, but stick with us because we'll be back with more conversation.
Are you feeling discouraged? Do you need the emotional chaos to stop? Are you experiencing negative dialogue in your mind and in your life? Do you feel like you've tried everything and aren't seeing results? Journey to Wholeness can help. We believe that anyone can find wholeness in Jesus. Journey to Wholeness is a 12-week program designed to equip you to face life's challenges by providing practical tools and biblical truth to help you spiritually, emotionally, and relationally as you walk out your Jesus journey. Course content is presented in a group setting and includes pastoral and professional video-based teachings, in-class applications, and group discussion so that you can gain the tools and strength you need to live a life of wholeness no matter what comes your way. Groups are facilitated by people just like you and will help you apply the content to your personal journeys. Groups meet weekly and sessions are 90 minutes. Childcare is provided during select evenings. Become one of the hundreds who have found Jesus-centered wholeness through this proven course. Now is the perfect time to start your journey to confidence, strength, and peace in your life. Sign up for Journey to Wholeness today.
Hey, we are back And if you're just joining us, I am talking with Sonny. We're doing our Cheery Conversations at Home edition, and we're just talking about different things we're experiencing during this new norm that we've been living for the last month or so. But we've just been having some pretty random conversation.
Random.
We have been talking a lot about our lives, how we've been impacted, things that we're doing differently. But I know part of both of our lives, we have kids that are part of our lives. And so let's talk a little bit about how our kids, and viewers and listeners, again, just keep the comments coming. Add your own comments to this conversation. But Sonny, you have teenagers.
Yeah.
So how have they been handling the new norm?
Sean and I were talking last night as we were cooking that this sounds mean to people who don't have teenagers that have younger ones. I said, can you imagine Aubrey and Isaiah at 2 and 3 years old, or 4 and 5 years old? He's like, or like young kids, like elementary. I'm like, I know. Them as 3rd graders. Like, we were just like counting our blessings last night because they are teenagers. So they, I think at that point, had moved stuff around in our living room, and they were doing like a exercise TikTok where Isaiah held Aubrey over his head, and then he'd do a sit-up, and she'd move her legs forward and up into a pike. And of course they were falling, and Isaiah jammed his toes, and they were giggling. But I'm like, they're able to entertain themselves so well. And it's actually been entertaining, and it hasn't been too bad. I guess now we can thank technology for the fact our kids were connecting more online with friends and on social media. Well, not really social media, there are things. Snapchat and TikTok and Visco and the things that are cool to them, Instagram. And so they kind of just kept flying through, connecting with their friends that way. So we've been super grateful. I do want Aubrey to write songs. Isaiah is working out 2 to 3 hours a day, so he's doing really good, and that's his goal. And Aubrey's, she's like, I can't write, but your daughter's writing. I'm like, okay, Kalia, push my daughter. You're already doing it. And so either Aubrey's gonna fold in comparison, or Kalia's gonna push her, because your daughter, how many songs has she written now?
I think she did like 3
Unreal.
Original ones.
Yeah, you have a video.
It's been cool.
I want to see this.
I do have a video. So here's my house most of the time. I mean, it's not always this awesome, but here's what happens in my house sometimes.
Each other?
I'm not really sure.
They're like, I'll just be louder. Which, let's face it, we all turn our music up in different parts of the house, probably louder than the others, and then pretty soon it's just chaos. That's so awesome.
So trumpet, electric guitar, percussion, like drums, keyboard, and singing, ukulele, and some rapping. That's been new. I've discovered some new talents my kids have.
But Kavi's good. Kavi's good.
Good.
I know you're not gonna put it out there, some of his raps. I know right now that's internal, and he's not releasing anything yet, but he can rap. I'm impressed.
He is going to be famous. But one thing my kids got mad at me about was I kept saying, oh my goodness, I've always wanted to homeschool you. And that made them so angry when I said that, because they did not think that was great.
They don't want to be in the grouping of I was once homeschooled, I take it.
Yes, or okay. I think they think I might love it so much that I'll never let them go back to school, which wouldn't happen.
Nope, you found that out.
Yes.
I'm not even trying to homeschool. The kids were on spring break last week, so they didn't have to do work and log in. But we're failing as a family. I just don't, like today, I think Isaiah's still sleeping. I don't know. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, we are trying to stick to a schedule, but it is hard. It's hard to be their schedule. It doesn't have to be normal.
No.
That's been our learning curve, is everything doesn't have to be exactly how it was. They're still getting their schoolwork done. They're still getting outside.
And I think it's important to let them enjoy this as much as they can enjoy it, right? Like I think about, why would we make this harder on ourselves and our kids than it is? Like, why would we make more stress and tension than is already probably something we're struggling with? So I think of the trauma, and I don't want to exaggerate, but I think of the trauma really of this has never happened to kids in this century. You know, that they've just, everything is up in the air. Seniors that aren't going to get to graduate, they don't get to finish their senior year with really no notice, you know? And so how do we make it that much better for them? And that leads us to animals.
Which, I mean, kids, animals, kind of the same bucket.
Did I tell you that I'm bending?
No.
You didn't even know this. You said we're going to talk about animals. Is anybody getting an animal during this time? So when we moved houses, we got rid of our dog and our cat. And, well, we didn't get rid of our cat, but I said the cat stays in the garage and with a litter box. And the cat kept getting out and roaming the neighborhood, and people kept bringing our cat back. And I was raised on a ranch, and we live out in trees and stuff. I'm like, let the cat roam. Like, let it go eat things or be eaten. Like, it's what happens in life. And so I just, all these neighbors keep bringing our cat back and knocking on our door, and they're very concerned about Buddy. And I'm like, I don't care about Buddy. If Buddy wants to or needs to come back, he'll come back when the garage door opens again, or he'll scratch on our front door. So eventually Buddy just disappeared. And he actually is in someone's house in our neighborhood. He's not dead.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody found out. I didn't really care. They just took him. Okay,
so they adopted him.
Yeah, so that was a year ago. And Aubrey has cried probably once a month for a year. Like sobs. No. I miss Buddy and I loved Buddy. So anyway, somebody sends me a couple weeks ago, pictures of kittens in the barn that the cat just had, saying if you know of anybody who wants kittens. And I mean, I'm a sucker for small things. Chipmunks, adult or baby, babies of any animal. They're all cute. I mean, baby possums, give me one. Baby porcupines, let's have some. Let's have some around. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I came back with, and I thought, I will surprise Aubrey. So I've been plotting that we'd get this kitten and I would make her keep it in the garage or her bedroom. Not allowed in the house. Not allowed. She's gonna have to.
Wait, where's her bedroom? Is it in the house?
Upstairs, but she's gonna have to carry the cat. There's some stipulations here. And then last week, she was sobbing about Buddy again. And I know that it's just she hasn't seen friends, she hasn't seen people. And he loved me. And it's the tears. And I knew she wasn't trying. She knows I was not getting her cat. So I said, Aubrey, I think there's a kitten I might let you get. And I show her the picture, and she fell into my arms crying. She sealed the deal because she falls into my arms crying. Thank you. I can never take it away now because it just filled my heart. So we're gonna get a garage cat. And to me, it still should be able to go wherever it wants to go in the trees. They're basically wild animals that we've domesticated.
That's so great.
However, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to keep it in her room or the garage. So yes, I bent.
Aww. Well, I don't think you're the only one. I've seen several neighborhood families with new puppies walking around.
Yeah. See, the puppy thing, you can't make a puppy live in the garage. Or a dog.
No, you can't. No. They are like another human being.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Well,
you're a dog person. Spoken like a true dog person.
Yes.
You just said they're a human being.
I did. In fact, I had to bring them. They had to go to the vet this last week, and it was the drive-through vet. So we brought them, and the vet picked them up curbside, and I was very appreciative that the pet doctors are still, available. But yes, I love my dogs, and it looks like a lot of people are becoming pet owners
because of this.
As of recent,
And we'll probably have lots of babies. We'll end on this note. There will be lots of babies 9 months from now, 10 months from now.
Not from either one of us.
Not for us. Nope, we got teenagers.
Yeah, nope.
And on that note.
And so, yes, we will end on that note. But you said something a little earlier about the kids and not making it more difficult. I think that's such a good point for all of us. Just making sure we aren't making our lives more difficult than it has to be. It already feels difficult, already feels different. And so, especially for our kids,